Ladies and gentlemen, we are live right from the Havens Talk studio in London, England. I bring to you a very important guest. I've written down this introduction especially for you. She's an educator, a motivator, advisor, teacher, preacher of the word, recruitment expert, coach, consultant, philosopher, dynamic innovator, amiable instructor, entrepreneur extraordinaire, elegant businesswoman, life transforming leader, passionate about growth and development of young people, women empowerment, chairwoman, proud woman of God, CEO and managing director, Emerald Mindset, Rashawn, the Jamaican superwoman, Ford. How are you, Rashawn?
I'm good, thank you.
You did not believe, like, is this me?
Yeah, you put that in a nutshell very nicely. It was nice, thank you.
Thank you. You know what? When I was in, the taxi to this place, I was like, okay, let me give Rashawn and a wonderful introduction. I'm like, okay. So tell me, how do you rate that on a scale of 0 to 10?
Definitely give you 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
100%.
thank you. Wow. So finally we make it happen. Wow. You were actually meant to be the first, woman on the podcast, right? But now you're the first woman in an in-studio podcast with me.
There you go.
It's still a first.
Something about the change. That's beautiful.
It's still a first. So, on the pod, the very first question I like to ask people is usually about their childhood, right? Like what childhood was like for you, how was growing up like for you. But before we hit that, right? I introduced you to so many things, right? And of course, you couldn't pick one single lie.
No.
You could not pick one, and that's why you're like, oh wow, so I have these many things, right? So my first question to you would be, who is Rashawn Ford? Like, how do you see yourself? People see as many things, but who do you see
Yeah.
yourself as?
Okay. I would say I'm an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Because I, like you said, I tapped into multiple different sectors, but it is all based around sort of supporting young people and adults, supporting individuals as a whole. I'm a managing director, as you say, founder as well of an organization called Emerald Mindset. And it solely focuses on supporting young people and adults into employment, education, and training. So that pretty much sums up who I am. I'm somebody who strives to always help individuals, even if I'm going through something or if I'm on my highs. I always sort of want to, bring that positive energy and also help people where I can with my knowledge and sometimes my wisdom or just through my experiences in life in general.
Positive vibes only. So,
Come on.
so please tell us about your childhood. Like, what was growing up, like for you?
I had a good childhood.
Oh, interesting. But before you say that, right?
Mhm.
Let me quickly interrupt you.
Go ahead.
The nickname, I have two nicknames for you. Number one, the Jamaican Superwoman, and, and number two, Omo Jamo, which is the Nigerian Yoruba nickname that we've given you. I hope you like that.
Yeah, no, I love it. I stand with it.
You know what Omo Jamo means?
Yeah, yo, Jamaican.
No, child of Jamaica.
Oh, but then you can't say that then because I'm not just Jamaican.
Yeah, but then primarily, a child of Jamaica.
Okay.
That is why I interrupted you before you talk about your childhood because Omo means child, so the child of Jamaica.
There you go. So I'm mommy's child.
Yeah. So tell us about your childhood and growing up.
So growing up, I had my parents around me, my mother and my father present in my life. I went to school like a usual kid. So, but I'll say most importantly, I was always a child that was trying to figure things out. Like I wanted to always know who Rashawn is. Like as much as
Curious.
like as much as you're a human being and you're in your body, you see yourself each and every day. There's a lot to get to know about yourself because you don't even know what you like, what you don't like, etc. So I would always say that I would always want to sort of go above and beyond to sort of be different as well, just to find out what suits me.
And of course, like that curiosity has actually followed you, not just from childhood into adulthood, because for you to be many things that you are today. You are a teacher, you're an educator, right? That curiosity drives, these things that you do today. But who would you say were your early life influences, early life mentors, role models? Who are those people you looked up to?
Um, I definitely looked up to a lot of people that I used to see in the movies, like business women. I used to look up to them a lot. Like, I can't remember the lady's name, but she's in a lot of films. Black lady. What's her name? She was in Bring It On. It was like a
Um,
cheerleading film.
oh wow, yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask because
The,
I'm not a movie person.
yeah, I'm rubbish as well. Like with celebrities, etc. But no, it's just like a lot. I would just say business women. It didn't matter what their race were. Like it literally a businesswoman with her brief and her nice suit.
You always
It
wanted
was
to be
just
the
like,
boss.
yeah, I want to be like this. Yeah, like that was a big inspo for me. I didn't really have any particular idol, like at all. Like I said, I've always curious about who I am or getting to know who I am. But then my mum was also a good influence as well. She was a go-getter, man. Like
Good.
I'm talking like she's not here, she's here. But she's like a go-getter. Anything she wanted, she would grab and get that. And I grew up seeing that. So nothing ever made me think that it's not possible. Like, I always felt like, yeah, like I can get anything I kind of want to get because I saw my mum doing it. She said she want to get a car, she's getting that car. I see it the next week, she's getting it, like anything. I would just see like it come into fruition. So my mum was definitely my idol during my childhood.
Interesting, interesting. Speaking of, being a go-getter, I think that was one of the things that really attracted me into speaking with you because I recollect the very, very first impression I had of you was when I saw you on a podcast and I saw a caption of it on Instagram, right? And then you were speaking about moms and their purpose. And, you talking about your mom right now just made me remember that thing you were saying, and that was what made me say, this person has to be my friend. I have to reach out to this person. Recollect at the time I had not even started my podcast. And then I think I reached out to you on Instagram. I was like, oh wow, I like your philosophy. I'm about to start my podcast. Can you put me through on these things? And I guess you thought, oh, who is this person? Who is this Omo Niger? And then, we got talking, and then you told me a few things about, podcasting. And I guess you thought I was not serious, or maybe one of those Nigerians that just want to have a conversation with a fine Jamaican guy. And I recollect, like, when I started, I think you saw one of the first few episodes, and then you called me and you're like, "Phil James, you said it and you did it. I'm proud of you." There you go.
And here I am today. Like,
yeah. On the pod, right? Like, it's really, really, really great to have you, right? Talking about your education, right? Let's briefly talk about your education and your brief stint in the corporate world and how Emerald Mindset came, into play.
okay. So you want to know my my employment history?
Yeah.
Okay.
The educational background.
Okay, so when I left school, secondary school, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, if I'm completely honest with you. I just wanted to sort of find something that would best suit me. And I'd done child development, so I assumed that health and social care would be like a major interest of mine. And I was wrong. Yeah. So I went to City and Islington College, which is based near Finsbury Park, Holloway.
Okay.
Yeah, and I studied health and social care there. And yeah, I realized that about after 3 weeks, it wasn't for me. I was like, this is really boring.
Whoa. Goodness.
Yeah, so that's something as well. We can step into that a bit more, but I don't waste time. I like to, if I see that something's not for me, I will move on and try something else and see, until I find that what's for me. And that's exactly what I did. So I then went to B6 and decided to try and do like administration, like a business admin course. And yeah, for me, again, it was the environment for me that I did not like. I felt it was very like negative, and I've always like, sort of thrived in a positive or just a quiet environment. So for me, I just had to leave again.
Oh wow.
So again, I'm not gonna sit in a situation that's gonna make me feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna find what's best for me. So then I decided to then go to an exhibition. How about that instead? So rather than looking online and seeing what's best suited, I thought, let me go to an exhibition where I can see like a variety of different things and see what's best for me. And that's what I did. So I went to the exhibition with my friend, school friend, and we came across an organization called City Gateway. And that company really was for me. It was more for a young person who is like likes to study, but also likes to get things done quite quickly. And I think that was best suited for me because it helped me with sort of like figuring out a short-term goal and being able to stick at it. So I had to do a course, which was business. And then after business course, it was like an apprenticeship that you can then progress onto. I didn't get to that stage of going on to an apprenticeship at that stage, simply because I met an employer that had come into the organization and done like talks with us about their banking industry and sort of how they got into it, etc. So I was like, oh, this might be of interest. Finance, yeah, maybe that could be down the businesswoman route. That's what I assumed. And then I went into working at a company called Citibank. You probably know it. It's in Canary Wharf. And that was working as a HR administrator. So that role was basically taking care of people. However, it was more based on systems and, you know, documents and processes and procedures. Exactly. So
corporate world.
So this is really corporate. And I was 17, by the way.
Wow.
So I was like, yeah, I was 17. So I was like, oh. And then I was on the 42nd floor. Which means I had no signal on my phone. Everyone was out. It was summer holidays. I was just like, but I stuck it out for a period of time. And then I would say life started to life. and then unfortunately, I no longer continued that role after about a good couple of months, nearly like a year. And then I progressed into a recruitment role. And recruitment is basically doing the full 360. So you've got the employer, then you've got the candidates. Candidates are people that are going to obviously go for the job. So because I am a people's person, that job really went well with me because I'm just dealing with people. I'm like, yeah, so this is the vacancy. Yep, can you give me a job description? And then I'm talking to the person. I think this job will suit you. So because I'm looking at both parties and I'm like, right, this is a match or not.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that side of it.
It's interesting when you're doing something that, you know, uses your natural talent.
Yes, your gifts. Exactly. So that's why I was passionate in that role. But then the passion died out. Eventually. Sharn being Sharn.
What killed the passion?
Do you know what killed the passion? I felt like it was too dog eat dog. Like everyone's trying to like, yeah, I need to get this employer. Yeah, I got to get candidates. It started to become a bit of a money thing. And I'm very purposeful. I like to do things with purpose. Okay, yeah, the purpose of this is to get money, but it needs to be more meaningful. And I need to feel like I'm fulfilling something a bit more than just that. So I then decided to go down the recruitment route, but in education. Because that way I'm helping, like, you know, obviously you're getting them into a position, but you're getting them into a position where they can actually start kickstarting their career. So it's helping them through another pathway rather than just at the end, which is obviously getting them into a job. This is more like, okay, what is it that you would like to do? This is how we can support you. This is what we do thereafter. So that was a bit more like getting to know the individual and actually taking them through the whole process.
So I see you like impact and purpose.
Exactly. You know? So I did that. And then that was my field, like education. I was like, yeah, this is me. And then I tried every single position within that sector. I'm like outreach. I tried, I did. And I just progressed. So, and then coaching, admin, which is like looking after the contracts, hosting events, working in job centers, working with like as a partnership stakeholder, also working as a partnerships manager, then progressed into management and started to look after the whole of what I basically done. So I've done all the running, which is different roles. And then I started to get into management where I'll help people do the roles that I've already done. And then that's when I really like said, you know what, this is me. And then after, like slowly but surely, I started to get fed up. I would always have like issues with managers. Like, I used to think, please leave me alone. Like, managers would always want to micromanage me, and that was too much. Like, and I didn't need to be micromanaged, and they knew that. Hence the reason why I think they micromanaged me, because they wanted to just like, I need to like be a part of this. Like, because I will come into a company, and honestly speaking, my colleagues will tell you, I will make an impact. I will certainly like make changes within that organization. If I see something and I can see that there's a better operation or a better way that we can support these individuals, I'm not afraid to speak up. And sometimes that would make people, you know, uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's usually in the corporate world.
Exactly.
Because, given the kind of structures that these organizations have, so you're more likely to have, you know, micromanagement, especially with, you know, deliverables and timelines, you know,
Yeah.
being unrealistic
Yeah.
times. So it is what it is.
It's like, yeah, it's like, who are you to come in here and tell me I should change my structure? It's like, just try it and let's see how it goes. So I think, yeah, that's like having a growth mindset, really, isn't it? When you're actually open to new opportunities and open to new ideas and you're willing to try new things to see whether it will work for you or not. So, yeah, I think mindset is huge. But anyway, we'll get to that at some point. And like I said, after management, I then definitely got into looking into becoming, I didn't actually look into it, if I'm honest with you, actually, I'm lying. I didn't look into, I'm going to start a company. No, that's not how it happened. How it actually happened was I meditated one day. It was a random day.
I was not wrong. I was not wrong in the introduction. I said she's a preacher. She's a woman of God.
Yeah, you was lying.
Pick the lies.
Yeah, no, there's no lies.
Tell the lies.
No, so yeah, I was meditating and it was a lovely meditation. Oh, my eyes were closed. I was on my rug and I was just sitting there, and basically it's like a guided meditation. So it's talking you through it. So it's like breathe in, breathe out, etc. And then I had to climb up the stairs, and the stairs that I visualized was ropes. And I was climbing up the stairs, and it was like, as you keep climbing, you're seeing clouds surrounding you. So obviously I saw the clouds surrounding me this is all in your imagination, by the way, because obviously you're meditating, this is your higher self. And then as time went on, it said, right, you get to the top and you're in a room. And the room that I visualized was like, it looked like a sauna. Right? It was like a wooden over.
That doesn't look serious.
Yeah.
Meditation.
It was
I would like to be that meditation.
I'm telling you, like,
I like saunas.
Don't make me laugh.
It's very healthy. That's healthy meditation.
It's around my head as well, and I was in like a white towel. It was very random, very random. I was like,
it just no way random.
Yeah, true.
Excuse me, that is luxurious.
So yeah, I was in that, but the sauna room was kind of weird because the windows was basically like there was no windows. Wow. Does that make sense? So it's just like room with just you can jump through it and die, like literally. So that was it. So it was, but again, because you was up in the clouds, everything. So in a sauna, it's all steamy. So maybe that's why I saw it. But yeah, so it's all steamy. But because it was in the clouds, it was just the clouds I was seeing. So it was still giving that sauna steamy kind of vibe. But then it said, okay, and then you end up somewhere like on a mountain or something. And I ended up on a mountain, and I was just looking at everything from down. Like I could see, okay, this is the whole earth. The world is my oyster in terms of like this. Like, where am I going to go next? That's what it felt like. And then what happened is it said, okay, you enter this room again. And what room I entered was like a room that was like a hall looking place, like an event, like a venue, I don't know. And I was standing up on stage and I was applauding my staff. I was like, you know, if it wasn't for your contribution, we wouldn't be here today. If it wasn't for your contribution, we wasn't there. And then it went on and I was like, then I opened my eyes and I was like, I'm going to become a businesswoman. This is what I'm going to become a businesswoman. I kept saying, I'm going to become like, I was so sure about this. Like, it looked so clear as day. It looked so real. I was like, this is definitely possible. And then once I started to believe it, everything started coming into play. Like, literally.
That aligns with my philosophy: conceive, believe, achieve.
Achieve.
Yeah.
Amen. So staff members started to come up to me, Sharn, somebody has they need your services with this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah. I'm like, wait, come here. Shh. What are you talking about? Get the information, etc. And then was still a bit skeptical because I had fear in me. Yeah. But then one day I was off sick and my phone rang. And it was literally like a random person calling me from like a training provider. And they were like, oh, hi, do you have any young people that you could potentially send over to us for this opportunity that we have going at the moment? And I was just like, potentially. But where did you get my number from? Sorry. Because it was on my personal number. It wasn't on my phone. So I was like, what's going on here? And he's like, oh, it was just on a call directory. And I was like,
Wow.
okay, with the company I was working for? And they were like, no, it just says your name, just says Sharn Ford and it's got your number. And I was like, okay, I'm going to call you back. And I hung up. And then I was like, actually, God, is this you? I was like, this is you, God.
God works in
Wait,
wondrous
what are you doing?
ways.
Yeah, I was like, let me call that number back. So I called the number back and I said, hello, yeah, so there's definitely someone that can support you with the services. What is it that you do? I started to get really confident with it.
There you go, British Russian speaker. Not the Jamaican speaker here.
No, seriously, yeah, it was crazy. So I was like, okay, this is quite interesting. Then I called them back and they were like, yeah, basically I just told them in a nutshell that this is what I can support you with. They said, I want to get you in touch with the director. So I said, so done. And then we met up, we had a meeting, like the energy. I liked the energy. We was both talking business, talking about my experience, talking about his experience, and it would just work. So he was like, you know what? I would like you to subcontract off of my company. I was like, sorry? This felt a bit overwhelming for me. I kind of knew it was going to happen, but it was still overwhelming for me, honestly. And then that was my first contract.
Yeah, like everything happening.
Yeah, fast. This is too fast. And that's another thing, actually, because in the first year of my business, it did go too fast. Like, God is serious. He's not a joke. He takes his kids serious.
Yeah. It can be overwhelming when things go so fast. And you're like, oh, I don't even have time to clock this.
I don't even know what's happening right now. I have no control over this. Like, loads of opportunities kept coming my way, and it wasn't like something that I rejected. I was always open to trying my hardest not to fail in what it is that I'm doing. So I'll give my all and put God at the forefront. And luckily, I swam. But if I'm honest with you, looking like back at it now from where I am today, I can see that God was just saying, look, this is your potential. These are the opportunities that you can actually be executing on, like really putting in the work. But I just need to show you that it's possible, but you're not ready yet. So then I was like, okay, took that in. I always take it. I hear God and I take in his word. So when he's saying certain things, I'm just like, okay, cool. So I kind of paused, like I would say on the second year to a degree. My company didn't stop. No, we kept going. But it was like a personal journey at this point. Like I really needed to heal in certain ways before I could get to the next level. And I think the problem that I had was caring about what others thought.
That's I tell people, like, when you care too much about what people think, it's a very, very big setback for you. And I think for me personally, right, from way back in Nigeria, in Africa, people care a lot about people's perspectives, how people see them. But when you don't really care about how people see you, they see you like, oh, you're somebody with a mental health problem.
Yeah, you're arrogant.
No. There's something they call you weary. Weary means a mad person.
Nice.
And then, like, I tell people, like, if, it takes you to see me as a mad person, I'm happy to be mad. Do you get it? I don't want to care about the way people, see you, because whether you're good, whether you're bad, whether you're the good, the bad, the ugly, people will always talk.
Exactly.
People will always have their perspectives, their opinions. So why do you really need to care?
Exactly.
About how people think about you?
Exactly.
People think about you in a certain way, but then when you become successful, those people come back to you and tell you, oh, Sharn, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I knew he was going to do it. It's like,
yeah. Then remember when you called me a mad person?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you think about it as well, almost every successful person at some point is being viewed as being mad, because it takes you being unusual to be successful.
Correct. And at the end of the day, God gives you the vision. Mm-hmm. So not everybody's going to see the vision the way you're seeing it, and seeing what movements that you're doing to execute that vision. It's not going to make sense in their head because they can't see your vision. So until God is ready to bring that vision into fruition for everybody to see, that's when get validated. But who cares? Like, we don't need validation.
Word.
Period.
Preach. I said it at the beginning. She's a preacher. No lies told. Oh, wow. Interesting. So I'll interrupt you in terms of like the vision of Emerald Mindset. So what is the vision, when you started? And how has like what you've been doing been aligning with that initial vision? Because sometimes businesses grow out of a particular vision but evolve over time. So what was the initial vision? Are you sticking with the initial vision? And what has been the evolution? You know?
Okay, so I would say Emerald Mindset is basically a representation of my gifts and my journey. Because throughout my life, I've had to be resilient. You know, I've always sat down and made sure I've listened to myself within. Like, as much as I have people giving me advice, I will always listen to my own advice, really. And I believe that's from Christ. So that's wisdom and confidence. I've always had to have confidence in order to execute anything that you want to sort of get. You know, you can't not have confidence to some extent, execution. So with that being said, my vision has been to support other people to see their visions. So some people will come to me, for example, with an idea. They'll be like, "Oh, like I've got this really good idea. Like I want to start this business," and they will tell me little things, like one or two little things to do with that business. Like, "Oh, I wanna help women. Like I want to do something for women that are going through domestic violence, or I want to help women who are currently homeless, for example, and single mothers. But I just don't know what to do." So I will look at them and really hear what they're trying to tell me and be able to give them, like, build that vision for them. Like, so it's like, okay, this is what you're saying you want to do. Where does that come from? It's like digging into the root of where their actual passions are coming from, because you want to work with a woman, you want to do this, you want to do why. So let's get to the bottom of that. And then why do you feel there's a need? And then obviously once we discuss why they feel there's a need, then we start looking at, okay, so this is how you can actually start building this platform for it to actually be able to support the women that you're trying to support. So my thing is, like I said, seeing visions for others, and helping them bring it into fruition. Also, giving them the tools. A lot of people, I was a confused young girl. Like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do, really. I had to go to that exhibition to figure it out. So I know there's a lot of young people that are very confused and want to try figure it out. So it's like, why not come to Emerald Mindset and we'll help you to figure it out? Okay, where are you at right now? Where are you trying to get to? And how are we going to get you there? So it's more about holding their hand. I didn't really have my hand held throughout my times of like literally trying to experience new things and figure myself out. I had to kind of do it on my own. With God being the glory, because he actually helped me through that. However, if he's given me that gift, I have to now give back. You know, this is not just a job or CEO, big boss. No, this is an assignment that I know I need to complete. And I know because there's been many testimonials beforehand, before Emerald Mindset even came about, I was doing this. So in my own time, like I'd always have friends that vibrations would be a bit lower than mine, to be honest. Like, there will always be something that, and I'm a very positive person. So even if I'm going through negative situations, I still have a positive mindset. Like, okay, this is me now, but this is probably why it's happening for this. I know there's a greater good at the end of something. I know at the end of it, I'm going to be victorious. I know that God is good and he's real. So I've never really had any issues when I'm going through bad situations. So I've always been that person to uplift individuals, is what I'm saying. Like someone said to me, "You're so beautiful because you give people your flowers even when you're going through dirt." And it's the truth. That was who I was. That is who I am. So now that I've got my platform to be able to deliver those services, yes, the vision has changed ever so slightly. I just knew that, okay, I need to help people, but now I know how to help people. What are the things that these young people and these adults are interested in? Okay, how do we help them from getting to a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? Why is your mindset even fixed in the first place? How are we going to get to the root of that? How are we going to build you up? How are we going to build that confidence? And to be honest, obviously empowerment, one, but also like plans of action. Okay, this is your situation, do this. And then they start to act and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's done on my maths and English, yeah? Okay, now I can go to uni." They start to build that, naturally you're building that confidence because guess what, you can do it. And when I speak to people, I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm very direct, blunt and honest. And at the end of the day, I tell them when they're stressing too much, I'm like, "But why are you stressing? You can do it. Just apply." Okay, let's sit down and do it together. I'm not going to do it for you, but I will definitely assist you. That's one thing about me. I like to give people like a hand, but sorry, you can't hold it. Because it's like, yeah, we can, come on. But then once I see you're there, I'm like, "Come on, my sister, you're good now." Or my brother, "You're good now." Like, I got things to do too. Like, we've all got assignments, you know what I mean? This is, yeah, mission to complete. Okay, and when you finish that, come back to me and then I'm going to give you that. But then I got to go again. And that is how I operate overall.
There's quite a few things, I'm about to unpack listening to you. First off, right?
Okay.
I heard you say your vision is helping other people find their vision.
Mhm.
It reminded me of, a consulting firm that says our business is helping you mind your own business.
Into your head. Crazy, you're mad man, you know.
Thank you, thank you. You know, my friends in Nigeria say, "Oh, we're a guy.
Yeah.
You're a madman." I
Yeah.
embrace it. You know, like
Yeah.
I think
No, but it's cool. It's
the
funny.
fact that I embraced that madness from my early 20s, you know, it made me realize that, man, you did well for yourself, because a lot of people I know from back home are people pleasers. You want to do things to please people. What? Why would I please people?
What you're laughing about?
The earlier you know,
Yeah.
that's being a people pleaser is a wrong choice in life.
Absolutely.
The better for you.
Absolutely.
And of course, you know, you talk about giving people a hand. There's this Yoruba proverb, you know, I'll say it in Yoruba, I'll translate it in English. It says, "Omo to ba shipa lobingbe," meaning it's a child that, you know, opens their hands that the parents can lift, right? So the thing is, if you want to be elevated, if you want to be lifted, right, you need to, you know, at least put your hands up, like let them lift you. But then if you just, you know, keep your hands there, nobody's gonna help you.
True.
So you give them a hand, like, okay, but then you need to put in the work.
That's it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're aligning.
So I'm learning.
You're aligning with
Aligning. Apologies. Yeah.
Yoruba philosophy.
Yeah.
You know, I've told you before. If you do the 23 and me, I think you're gonna be like 50% or 20%. Man, I just
He wants to claim me. He wants to claim me.
I'm sure you're from Nigeria. I'm dead sure.
Gosh, Jabo.
Oh, Nigeria. Shout out. But really, you know, it's interesting, you know, what you do in, you know, helping people. And of course, you say you're direct and blunt. It's not much of a British thing, you know. It's a Nigerian thing. You know, you're very,
True.
you're very direct. You see the bloodline.
Yeah, they say you're fake. Yeah, no.
You give yourself out. So, it's not me. It is you.
Yeah, for real. True.
But then, you know, you talk about the growth mindset, right?
Mhm.
And of course, your company has actually been growing, and it's not easy. Growth is never an easy process. But how are you managing the journey of growth for the company?
How am I managing the journey of growth? The way I'm managing the journey of growth is, again, just putting God at the forefront of everything that I do. And the way I do that is obviously just praying and going with what I feel is the right move, to be fair. So whenever like a situation comes in where I start to feel like maybe we're not doing so well, I would always be kind of willing to see where we're going wrong and then just kind of like push it. That's the best way that I can describe it. So with growth, we remain balanced.
So I see that you impact and you influence a lot of young people. I've seen videos of you, you know, online. I've seen, you know, videos on your Emerald Mindset website. I see the testimonials, you know. I used to be a teacher before. I don't know if I told you, right?
You did actually, yeah.
Yeah. I used to teach professional students in Nigeria, one of the biggest tuition houses. Like, in terms of count, I think I've taught like over 2,000
Oh, wow.
people, right? And I think I have taught over, in terms of the people who have qualified as chartered accountants, I think more than 300 persons who are currently qualified chartered accountants have actually passed through my tutelage, right? Every year I get people pop into my DM and say, wow, thank you very much. I finally made it. I finally became a chartered accountant.
See, impact.
And I remember, you know, your input. So that teacher's appreciation, I know you get that a lot, right? I kind of feel like I feel envious of you right now because I've left the teaching profession, right? You get it on a daily basis. You know, you there's that satisfaction, that fulfillment,
Yes,
that comes with, you know, people constantly appreciating you because you have impacted their lives,
yeah,
positively,
exactly.
right? I think, and you know, there's something they used to say in Nigeria. They say a teacher's reward is in heaven. Because teachers don't earn much back there. So I used to make this joke like, you know, I stopped teaching so that, you know, I can reap my reward on the earth.
Yeah, they do say that teachers are underpaid, to be fair. Yeah. The UK, to be fair.
The teachers wanted them. I don't want my money there.
I need the money.
I need to cash out. That's that's probably why I stopped teaching, right? But for you, like, what measures do you take, in order to help these people elevate and, of course, to create employment for these people? I know you work with, certain London boroughs, government organizations. Talk to us about it.
Okay, so opportunities. So we listen to the young people. A lot of the young people today are interested in like influencers,
I'm
celebrities.
A young person, so will you listen to me?
Will I listen to you? You are out of the bracket of being considered as a young person.
Are you age shaming me? I'm a youth. See,
I would definitely listen to you.
But trust me, like the other day I went to buy alcohol at Sainsbury's, and then the lady was like, "Oh, can I see an ID, please?"
Look at him trying to flower himself.
I was feeling cool, like young.
That doesn't it?
I see your ID checked.
Yeah.
Please listen to your mindset.
Yeah, to be honest, that comes back to the growth mindset, because having a growth mindset is also understanding that there's no age limit to listening. You can learn from a 2-year-old.
Interesting.
You really can. You can learn things about yourself from an experience, right? So therefore, it doesn't matter the age. So that's,
It doesn't matter. The age is just a number.
It is.
Right? So I am young at heart.
Right.
So
you're as young as you feel. No shade.
let me think about how I feel. Okay, I feel 21.
Yeah.
I'm 21.
Okay, cool. He's 21.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, that was just on a lighter note. So talk to us about, the opportunities, how you
Yes. So it's just about establishing relationships with employers, really. And you want to look for employers that are, recognized and established very well. So you're giving these young people a really good opportunity to thrive in an organization that has experienced professionals, and also is something exciting for them, because let's be real, a lot of the young people today, you tell them about a shop around the corner, and then you tell them about Citibank, which one are they going to go for? And to be fair, like, one of the challenges that we do face sometimes is that the young people and even adults do sometimes feel like they can have a CV that just says maybe they've been doing a course at a college, and then expect to get into like a management or director's position, which is really just daydreaming, to be fair. It's sad to say, but you need to be realistic. At the end of the day, you don't have any experience under your belt. So it's about also understanding that it's about climbing the ladder. And that's something I did. Like I said, I had to run around and do different positions to feel what would be like best for me, what aligns with me and what I want to do. And also to build your CV up. You need to build up a portfolio. Why am I going to trust you as a manager to come to the organization? What have you got to show me? What's your record? Nothing. So therefore, that's something that young people really need to, and adults need to sort of like take into account. But that's something that we also embed in them as well. We make sure that it's very clear from the beginning. Like, we like to set those expectations. We don't like to sell any dreams at Emerald Mindset. It's about really understanding yourself and actually looking at situations in a realistic way, not only in their professional life, but also their personal life. Because their personal life and your professional life, they, as much as we don't want it to interlink, it interlinks. It does.
They always find a way to intertwine, right? So I have this cousin, she's a doctor, right? Like, anytime she speaks with me, I'm like, I'm not your patient.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm talking to her, like,
yeah.
And then when I'm talking to her, she's like, "Oh, I'm not one of your clients."
Yeah.
So speaking to me like you're a consultant to me. So like, these things do.
Yeah, it meshes exactly.
Do happen. So so far, what would you say have like been the major challenges and the major accomplishments that you've had with Emerald Mindset?
I would say the major challenges that I faced was trusting people that I want to like or wanted to partner up with me. That is something.
Trust issues.
Yeah, trust issues. Let's be honest. It's your baby. When you got a podcast, you know how it is. It's you're birthing something. You're bringing something into fruition. Like, it's yours. It was your vision, and it's yours to carry. It's yours to represent. It's yours that has to. You are responsible for this every single day. If you stop it, it stops. Like, this is your baby. So for me, yeah, it was difficult to trust people, especially with like doing the work that I do as well within the company. Obviously, I didn't have like a big team or even a team at the beginning. I had to do everything on my own, so it was very difficult to start like, delegating tasks to other people because like, well, you can do it correctly. Oh, you might mess things up for me. You know, it's still a baby, so therefore, like, it's still a baby now. It's a toddler now, but yeah, it's you know, it's still, you know, you have to like, yeah, but he's growing. She's starting to walk. You know, but yeah, no, I'm being silly. But yeah, no, seriously. So that's pretty much it.
So how about the accomplishments, like things?
Oh, sorry,
Really,
sorry, we're talking
yeah,
about the challenges.
really
Yeah.
proud.
So I would say what I'm really proud of is the lives that we've impacted, the women that we've built up, you know, in not built up, but just sort of reminded them of how great they are, really, which is again building up their confidence. Men as well, you know, we've helped them to sort of get into different kind of positions, mainly to do with like the media industry, if I'm completely honest with you. But again, it's just seeing how they come from being like this to like this when they leave, like the confidence. I'm just here for it, you know. And there's been people that's established businesses within the organization as well, just through our coaching. There's also people that have been able to go to university. That's obviously their barriers have usually been maths and English functional skills. We've been able to open that door for them, and obviously now they're in their uni course. So I would just say the impact that we've been making on people's lives, it's just been amazing, really. And it's not just been one or two; it's been a whole lot of people. So it's made me feel really good. And we've also gone into organizations, where we've been able to impact staff. So like we do sometimes delivery in schools, etc. So that's like delivering the mindset program, which is like really embedding the growth mindset into the youth and also getting them on track with like their work experience that they need to undertake as a part of their course at school. So during that time, we've impacted lots of staff members. Some staff members have left their companies just through realizing that, you know, I need to really focus on my purpose. Some staff members have just stayed and been able to see how they can implement some of the knowledge that we've given them into their actual roles. And then I can just see that some of the staff members have also seen the opportunity of how to sort of relate to these young people a little bit more, not come across so like, you know, authoritative. You don't need to act like, yeah, I have the authority. No, the young people don't like that. Relate to them, you know, sit down with them. Yeah, and
they do not like excessive authority.
Especially because the young people today, they think they're quite grown, you know, they already think they're grown adults. So it's like just relating to them and making them feel like, yeah, they can be responsible for themselves, but also you do need this guidance. Like, this is what you're going to do. And I think it's just about how you speak to them as well. Again, I was kind of a young person that I kind of help. So I get that. I get them. Does that make sense? Like,
so are you seeing yourself as an old person now?
No, I'm definitely a young person. Cheeky. I'm
I am young.
I'm a young adult.
Okay.
I'm a young adult. I'm not a young person. I'm a young adult.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely a young adult.
Whichever way you want to swing it.
Because I'm an adult, isn't it? But I'm still quite young. So I'm not a child.
If you say so.
I'm a child?
Yeah, or much I'm also your child.
Good night.
There you go. But really, I'm quite proud of you know, the things you've been able to achieve with Emerald Mindset, and also seeing how passionate you are about, you know, what you do. You know, seeing the office, like, you know, see the phone ring, like, hello, it's Sharn from Emerald Mindset. How can I help you today? But like, you're speaking so fast, bombarding them with information. I'm like, whoa. Like, if I were this person, I think I'll just sign up immediately.
That's what I did.
And the positive energy is just too much. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
It's quite overwhelming, isn't it?
When are you starting?
Yeah.
You know, I see that passion, you know, and of course, when I see the testimonials, I'm like, oh, wow, interesting. Like, I always love to see people transforming lives. You know, being a teacher before, seeing, I've literally had people from different backgrounds, people who studied philosophy, who studied, you know, very random things like agriculture.
Yeah.
And, you know, they come into a class. I used to teach financial accounting, financial reporting, right? and then I make these people gurus at financial accounting, financial reporting, and then they go on to like impact different places. And it's interesting to see that like I have like a lot of students who are like working in like high placed organizations. When I first came to the UK, I went the very first time I went to church, I saw somebody, and then the person was like, I know you. You taught me in Nigeria. I was like, excuse me. Like, why? Why would you guys do this to me? Sometimes I walk into certain organizations and then I meet people who have taught before. I'm like, okay,
That's all purposeful.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I see that thing with you, right? I see the impact, right? And I know that you work with like a certain government organizations, right? Like I think the London Borough back in
That's
Dagenham,
right.
the
Havering.
Met Police, right? That's big. That's massive. Come on. You are impacting lives. But what would you say is the next step, or what would you say is next for Emerald Mindset?
So we also had the TV show as well called The Mindset Show that was on Sky and Freeview. That did come to an end simply because, like I said, God throws opportunities your way sometimes just to show you that, hey, you can do it, but it's not exactly the way it should have been done at the time. Well, actually, it happened the way it should have been. It should have happened. But what I'm saying is now I understand what it is that I can do, and now it's to make it a little bit better for the people that we're supporting. Because before it was mainly focused on people that are established or experienced in certain like professions, coming onto the show and speaking about their experience to inspire these people that I'm trying to help. But actually, a lot of these people sometimes just want to have a conversation. Like I go to the job centers quite a lot, and speak with these participants or potential learners, as we call them, face to face, and they actually sometimes just want someone to really vent to. Like, this is what I've gone through, and so I just don't know how to get out. And that I feel, for me, I have time for that at the end of the day, because like I said, I like to go into people's root issues, like where is this coming from, so that we can obviously then move forward. And it's not something that I find fun all the time, no. But like I said, I'm very like driven by God, and sometimes I have to say what I need to say, or I need to listen to be able to actually respond, properly, and really allow the Holy Spirit to take over and speak into this individual. Like last week, I had a lady that, unfortunately, her kids she's quite a grown, like a very mature lady, and her children basically doubt her, and they don't really look up to her like, yeah, you're the world's best mum
Yeah,
in
that's
any way.
painful.
And that's really painful, and it made me feel some type of way, I'm not going to lie to you. And as she was talking to me about it, she was like, it's just like mental health, different things have just like come up in life where it's just slowed me down completely. And as we started to unfold everything, she started to talk about some of the things that she went through, etc. And then from that, we was able to sort of see how we can obviously work together to get her to a position where she is getting that respect from her kids, and she is being able to feel good about herself every day and actually start to make something of herself also. And you know what? I spoke to her today, and this woman has sent me her CV. Her daughter that looked down on her, it was the one that's supporting her because she's making the movements in her own life. So to see that she was away from even the area that I even met her in, which is where she lives, go into an Essex with her child, to actually go through her CV and feel good and actually get that done and sent on to me so that we can now help her to even progress more. Already, that's just impact. That already is fulfilling for me, knowing that this woman is gonna now, her life is she's in a better position. The same thing she cried to me about is the same thing that she's now in a better, like, this is what it's about. It's not just about getting them into education. It's about actually making that impact so that it lasts. It needs to be everlasting. Do you understand it?
Impact.
Everlasting impact. You can't, okay, it's good. Yes, she's got a job, but then she might still have that issue later on. She might still lack that confidence because she might still think her daughter looks down on her. But because I took the time out to go into why her child may look down on her, or her children may look down on her, and how we can fix that, it's now opened the door for her to have a different kind of mindset. Her mindset's grown now. She's got a growth mindset. She had that fixed mindset when she came through the door, and now she's getting that growth mindset through her own actions. I'm not actually, it's not magic. I'm not waving a wand. I'm just speaking to you and you're acting. So it's actually on you.
Mindset magic. Interesting. You spoke about something, like your talk show, your involvement in the media, and I remember something. I think I did see you on some of your social media platforms. I can't remember which. I saw you with there's this controversial guy. Is it Mizzy or Michi or what's it?
Mizzy.
Yeah, Mizzy, right? The guy sparked controversy in the UK.
Yeah, that kid's a genius.
Yeah, like, and then I felt bad for him, when he was on the Piers Morgan show, and Piers Morgan was trying to talk down on him, but I liked the way he was able to hold
Yeah.
his own against Piers Morgan. Like, why would you try to like massacre a little boy, on live TV? That's not a very kind thing to do.
No.
And then I see that in recent time he has been able to communicate his remorse for, the controversial things that he did, and he's like on a pathway towards like
greatness.
would I say preparing his public image into a positive, because he did have that negative, image, put out in the public previously, right? But then he's now chasing that positive, image. And you working with him, like, how's the relationship been?
I think he's a good person. His name's Bakari. I think he likes to be known as Bakari now, not Mizzy.
Oh wow!
Because Mizzy's his name where it was in that hype. It's now Bakari, I believe. But yeah, he's smart. He was able to manipulate social media. Which a lot of people might disagree, but that's just what happened. He was able to manipulate social media. We're now sitting here saying his name, so therefore he kind of knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He wanted his name out there so that he could bring maybe some of the things that he had in his mind into fruition. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, social media is full of low vibrational people. It is full of negativity. It is full of sadness. There's nothing really positive on social media. Like, if, for example, if I was to go on social media and do a skit where I'm cussing and ranting about something that's upsetting me, I'll get a lot more likes than I would telling somebody that, guess what Emerald Mindset's doing? We're helping young people and adults. They'll look at it, oh, well done. But then, but the negative will be like, what have, like, everyone will be fully indulged. So it's like, he just saw what social media is about, played on it a little bit, and he's flipped it now. This is the real me, guys. This is behind the mask, but actually this is why I did it. And yeah, so that, with that being said, obviously I think very highly of Mizzy in terms of like the way his mindset is. Like, he's got a very good mindset, especially for his age, and he knows what he wants and he's going for it. And in terms of like supporting him, we have like chats here and there, and if there's anything that he needs that's going to help him to progress, I'm here for that and I support him accordingly. But yeah, Mizzy, I just think I said his name, Mizzy Bakari, he's a good boy. He's a good boy, and I see him having a very victorious future.
That's great. That leads me to ask you, like, what are your I did introduce you as a philosopher, right? So what are your major philosophies that have driven your growth and your development as an
pain, purpose, power?
Triple P.
Triple P. Pain, purpose, power. And what that means is that in life you go through some serious pain. Like, everyone's got their own journeys. Everyone's got their own pain. What my pain might be to you might be quite light, and vice versa. It might be heavy. Who knows? But like I said, God knows who can manage what. And the reason why pain links into purpose is because through your pain, you sort of start to identify certain things about yourself and why you're going through those things. Because it then triggers, like, I would say, shadow work, where you really start to look from within. Okay, who am I? What am I trying to become? Like, you start to really question yourself. And then that helps you to sort of like start figuring out these curiosities. Well, myself anyway, I can speak for myself. I started to figure out certain things, or try to figure out certain things about myself. And that led to me understanding maybe what my potential purpose could then be. And then obviously once you start to walk in your purpose and understand your purpose, you become powerful, because nothing's stopping you now. You know who you are. You know what you're here to do. Do it. So that's why I say pain, purpose, power.
I think I like that construct, and I was not wrong. Again, I was not wrong, philosopher. So like, come on. I was expecting that you would give me 11 over 10 for the introduction, because I did a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, I wonder if I was meant to say 20 over 10. I was like, no, let me just answer the bracket. But yeah, no, we'll give you a 15.
I'm telling you, 100 over 10, man.
You kill me.
So what's your take on black women, in leadership roles and their responsibility in society? I know you are a symbol of black excellence. You love and you're passionate about black excellence, right? And you're a black woman, in society, right? A lot of people look up to you. But what's your take on, black women in leadership and their responsibility to society?
What I say is, I think black leaders or black women in leadership. I think I think it's fine. I think that it's great to see. It's beautiful, and I believe every black woman that's going out there and succeeding is just believing in themselves, because at the end of the day, a lot of black women will turn around and say, it's more difficult for us to get opportunities, it's this and it's that, and it's really hard, racism but I can't say that I can relate to an extent when it comes to having my own business. And the reason why I say this is because, again, I'm so heavy on putting God at the forefront of my life, and anything that I do. I don't think anything's impossible. Do you understand?
I do understand, but then looking at the average black person in society, right? In a way, you always have to like work twice as hard to prove yourself as a black person. Now, let's talk about like the British society and like the American society. Talking about home here in the UK, right? As a black person, right? It's tough, making a mark for yourself a lot of times because you always have to prove yourself compared to.
Elaborate. So what would you say? In what way? So say, for example, go on, tell me.
So let's take, for example, in the corporate world, for example, like women climbing the corporate ladder. It's tough, even being a woman already, right? And also now being a black person, it's also tough. Now, let's take, for example, what's happening in America right now. Kamala Harris, right, versus Donald Trump. Joe Biden has dropped out of the election, right? But Kamala Harris, he's endorsed her, but she's a black woman. She's a woman of color, right? And then a lot of people are now coming out to say disparaging things, right, about the fact that, oh, she's not going to stand a good chance, competing against Donald Trump. Why? Because she's a woman. You're not even evaluating her competence, right? Being a woman, rising, through the corporate ladders, when you get to see a lot of like CEOs, top CEOs, top executives, in the corporate world, women are not like, would I say very fairly represented, because it's like a man's world.
True.
Now, even at the helm of leadership, okay, let's take in British politics, for example, how many black women have actually held like really
I understand what you're saying, but I just feel like there's barriers.
Yes.
Do you understand?
There are barriers.
But there's always barriers.
Yeah,
even in a man's life, there's always barriers. It's about how you overcome it. Honestly speaking, and understanding who you are. That's why knowing thyself is extremely important, because when these things do come up, these hurdles, these situations, whatever, when they come up, you need to know how to stand firm on who you are and make sure that you're treated fairly in whatever situation you're in. There's maybe because of how I represent myself, I don't accept nonsense. Whether I'm in a room full of men, I would love to sit in a room. Like when I sit in a room full of men, I thrive more, to be fair, than sitting in a room full of women. Because with women, there's a bit more emotion, there's a bit of this and this. With men, we're getting straight to the business. But with men, you need to know how to assert yourself. You see, it depends on how you represent yourself as an individual. If you represent yourself as an individual, you're timid, you don't really know what you're speaking about, etc., then you're going to be treated a certain type of way. But if you stand firm on who you are, you know exactly what you're speaking about, and you actually stand on what you're speaking about as well, so people can see your vision. Even if they don't agree with it, they will still give it time to understand. Do you understand? Because they see that your delivery, okay, she knows what she's speaking about. So I think it depends on how you represent yourself. And hence the reason why, again, we have Emerald Mindset, and it's all about building that confidence, because there's a lot of people that are lacking that confidence, and that's why they feel like they're being shut down in that room, and that's why they feel like it's a challenge, and that's why they feel like, oh, it's a man's world. It is a man's world, let's be real, but it
is a man's world.
Exactly. You have to make it your own world. You have to really believe in yourself. Who is going to give you that confidence other than you? Do you understand? So I feel like it's different for how you live your life. Like, and for me personally, I don't feel like as a woman, as a black woman, it's been extremely difficult. It's been difficult in the employment world, but as a businesswoman, no. And the reason why, even as a businesswoman, when barriers have come up, I've known how to be, I'm too resilient. Nothing can stop me. I have that mindset where I'm like, nothing will stop me.
You remind me of the song,
that's it,
nothing can
nothing-
stop me. I'm all the way.
I'm all the way up.
Producer, please give us a song.
I will not be stopped. That's how I feel. It's like, okay, this happened. Okay, get back up. Every time, get up. Get up. That is my mentality. Yeah. Or like a baseball bat. Like I always vision a baseball bat and then the balls are coming at me and it's like you're just banging them out of my way because I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to. I feel like it's all about confidence, self-esteem, and knowing what you're talking about. Make sure you understand your sector, really get to know it. And that's where the growth mindset comes into play because you can't have a fixed mindset to think that you know it all because there's someone that's going to teach you something that's going to help you get to the next level. So what you need to do is slow down, understand, sometimes observe as well. Really learn from the people that are in bigger rooms than you. And then start to execute. But this is the thing, sometimes when people are around people that can really help them, they talk too much.
Yes.
They talk too much. And it's like, listen. And that's one thing I was always good at. I was good at listening. Yeah, it is a real big skill, especially when sometimes you're thinking, oh, I already know this. Like, but I know that person can say one thing that might help me tomorrow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to listen. If I'm in a room full of people that maybe have less of an understanding of whatever is going on at the time, life maybe, then I'll be the talker. I'll be the loudest in the room, no problem. But when there's leaders in the room, just slow down. So again, I come back to your question about women and in business, black women in business. It's all about who you are. It comes back to you. And for me personally, I've not struggled.
Interesting, and that's a fantastic one, and of course that's why I'm proud of you. That's why you're on the Kingdoms podcast, right? Remember, the Kingdoms podcast is about sharing the stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
Oh, I love that.
And of course, okay, I'm going to share with you, right? I think when I got the inspiration for that tagline, I was actually, in a meditation, but not a guided meditation.
You just meditated. It just came to you.
Yeah. So for me, like I get a lot of meditations, especially when I'm in the bathroom. Like my daily routine is, wake up in the morning. I listen to Joel Austin. I don't know if you know him, that preacher, right? I listen to him, and then he's always talking about how God used ordinary people to do extraordinary things.
Lovely.
David killed Goliath, blah blah blah, and then I was thinking, I want to do my podcast, right? But what I love a podcast that will motivate people, right? Let's have edutainment, right? Educate people, motivate them, and give them a little bit of entertainment. And of course, I'm like, I want to be talking to people. I love talking to people.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And then it clicked. It came to me, that morning in the bathroom, sharing the stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I'm like, okay, thank you, Jesus.
Amen. Isn't that just beautiful?
I'm like, thank you for this word. Like it's always good to believe in yourself and believe in your God, right? Very, very important. I put God first in everything that I do. Believe is very important, and that's why, like, one of my mantras is.
Can I stop you right there?
Believe
when you say what you just said. It clicks well, but when you said believing in yourself and believing in God, don't you feel like in order to believe in yourself, you have to believe in God, and in order to believe in God, you have to believe in yourself? Because
sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, believe in your God.
Because God is not here sitting with us, whispering in our ears, like saying, "Oh, this is what you need to do." He's actually coming from within, so we have to believe in what we're hearing from within in order to believe in what God, do you know what I mean? God's saying.
Exactly.
So it comes from within. Yeah.
Exactly. And, I talk a lot about believing in yourself because I've met a couple of people, or like a good number of people, that I can see that they are talented. And it has even happened in recent time. I met somebody, very talented singer. And then I was asking this person, like, why don't you, like, put your work out? And then this person was telling me, I'm afraid of what people will say, the negative comments on social media. I'm like, you're not ready.
Yeah.
You're not ready to be successful in life. Because if you think about what people would say, you would never
achieve. Yeah, true.
You never achieve anything. And then, I told this person, like, okay, look at me, look at my podcast, right? look at episode 1, right? It was filled with, it was episode 1 was a test run, was a dummy run.
Yeah.
It was actually a freestyle with a friend.
Really?
I tell you. And then we were just like, oh, let's test the concept. And then we were recording. And then we kept on talking. The chat became interesting. And that was how episode 1 happened. Episode 2, right? I reached out to, I think episode 2 was like a former world champion in MMA. The guy we've been talking, for many years. And then it was like, okay, I'll come on your podcast.
So you kind of, the first one built your confidence a bit. Then it's like,
I'm telling you,
I can do
episode
this.
3.
Right, look. At this point, yeah.
Then, somebody told me, like, I have gone back to see, previous episodes of the podcast, and I've seen the improvement over time. But the thing is, if I had not started, the improvement over time would not happen. I have people who will call in and say, oh, the video quality is bad. You're not editing this thing well. Okay, thank you. Edit it. People come in and say, okay, you're not doing that well. The thing is, even criticism helps you to grow.
Of course.
But a lot of people do not take criticism constructively. They take it negatively, right? So it's still boils down to the mindset.
It does.
I think they need
so
what's
that? What's that? So what would you say they've got people that are not willing to take constructive criticism? They have a growth or fixed mindset?
A fixed mindset. And then they need emerald mindset to help them to transform from the fixed mindset to the growth mindset.
You see,
you need to engage me as an ambassador of
yeah, absolutely. I'm feeling it.
I need to get paid. I need to get paid. Let me share part of the emerald mindset money, Okay, so I think I want to put you on the spot now. Like, what Black women do you admire, and view as role models in society today?
I would say Candy Barras, from SWV.
Okay.
No, sorry, not SWV. Goodness, Escape. She's a part of a girl crew. She's an entrepreneur. She's a serial entrepreneur. She's got multiple businesses. She's been on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's also had her own show. She's just a boss.
Boss.
Yeah, she's a boss.
Boss ladies.
Yeah. I would also say Nene Leakes. She's another one that's from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. The reason why I think she's a really good role model is because she stands on what she stands on who she is.
Stands on business.
She stands on business.
That just became popular on social media.
Yes, and I love it. She says what she says. Like, she's really, I like a woman that's bold, and confident, alpha to a certain extent as well.
Assertive.
Like, that's assertive. Yeah, that's the kind of people that I look up to. But like, I look up to people, but I'm in my own world. I don't really watch TV anymore. Like, since I started the business, I don't really watch TV. I don't really go on social media that much unless I'm posting something of myself or having like a chat or posting something about the business. And again, the chats are usually related to business. And I wouldn't say, and I just listen to like podcasts, and I also watch like Andrew Tate. Like, he's very motivational. Yeah, Steve, all of them. They're really.
I thought it was more of guys that listen to.
Yeah, a lot of women. Like, a lot of people say that. They're like, "How you?" Like, but I'm like, yeah, because again, he stands on who he is. He's not sugarcoating nothing for nobody. Why is he sugarcoating
on business? I feel like sometimes some of his, philosophies can be extreme.
Agreed.
Yeah, but I like a lot of things.
Yeah, and I am all about authenticity. If you're yourself, I accept you. Yeah, that's it. I'd rather that than a mask.
I appreciate that. I think the next question I have for you is, like, what's your take on supporting young children, right? And I see the fact that a big part of your work is working with children, right? And of course, what are the existing gaps in the UK ecosystem? Because I think, me personally, right, I feel like there's a lot of parenting failure.
Agreed.
In this environment.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's more of me coming from Africa to this ecosystem. And then I say, like, wow, Like there's certain expectations I have of parents, and then I don't see it happening here. I'm like, oh, the world of an immigrant.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
you experience culture shocks. But for
Yeah.
you, like, what's your take on the issue, and how has Emirate mindset
Mm.
helped in bridging the gap that exists?
Yeah, I understand. I can really relate to that, even though I'm from the UK and I'm British. I can really relate to that. I hate laziness. I really, really hate laziness. And I feel a lot of the parents today, again, it boils back to trauma. A lot of them haven't healed from childhood wounds themselves. So when they have a child, unfortunately, they're not able to accommodate the child's needs, especially, well, in every way, especially when it comes to education. And and just being that role model for that child to look up to, because a lot of the people that I deal with, the young people we call a bit underrepresented. Those young people are coming from parents who are mainly on benefits, or some of our young people, their parents are actually waiting for them to pay for their rent through the little money that they're making, etc. So my thing for young people is it's just, and then also, sorry, another thing is being heard. A lot of young people don't feel like they're being heard. They're just seeing what's happening, and they're not being heard about things like maybe what's happening at school or what they've achieved. It's like, oh, that's good, because they're so the parents are so indulged in their own life and what's happening around them that they don't have the time to really focus on this young person and pour into them the way they need to.
So why have a child if you are not going to have the time to?
Well, this is my argument, and this is why I think it's quite sad. Because we have to pick up the pieces. You know, professionals like us, teachers, training provider owners, you know, counselors, coaches, all of them. We all have to sort of pick up the pieces and help them to sort of gather back that confidence. Again, the young people, why do you not feel like you can achieve? Because what they're around is not achieving. What they're around is not achieving. They're going home and they're seeing their parents chilling.
Leadership by example.
Do you understand? So how are you meant to have a growth mindset as a young person, seeing your parent chill every day when you leave to go to school and when you come back from school and during the weekends? How are you meant to think there's anything outside of that? It's not fair. So this is why we can't beat them up for having a fixed mindset. It's just about showing them another way. Okay, this is your current environment. We speak to them about their environments, because that is an important point. Very important point. We need to talk about why do you not feel like you're thriving in this environment, or what do you think's holding you back? And sometimes they turn around and say environment. It's not even coming from us putting it in them. It's them coming to us telling us that's what it is. Oh, I'm around the man them and the man. So why are you not at home? Oh, because my mom. Like, you know, there's always a reason. That's why I'm saying you have to get back to the root, and then once you get to the root, you can start building up. So that's, I would say, listening to the young people is very important. That's something I pride myself to do each and every day when I'm working with them. Also being assertive. A lot of the young people today, because again, the parents don't really have time, they're starting to get very disrespectful.
You read my mind.
Yeah.
You read my mind. Like a lot of UK kids are disrespectful. And then, you know, I see that they always, but one thing I've noticed is this, right? Because for me, like, I train in martial arts, right? So I know that I can hold, you know, my own against a lot of them physically, right? So I've been in situations where the one who size you up, then you're talking disrespectfully, and then I'm like, oh, come here. Like, do you know that I can put up a beating on you right here? Then like, oh, sorry, uncle. Like, who's your uncle? Your uncle is at home. Don't call me your uncle, man. But like, I see how they talk disrespectfully, but a lot of them do not even have, you know, good character. And I see like this spirit of cowardness, you know, in them, because when you address them assertively, they fold. Like they
because the character that you
pressure.
think is arrogant and rude and disrespectful, it's a cover up. It's a defense mechanism. You know?
Right. But then, you know, I see how they address certain adults as well who look vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like not everybody looks able-bodied and, you know, can, you know, withstand them physically. So when they see people that are vulnerable, for example, I've seen, you know, UK kids disrespect, you know, disabled people. I'm like, how in your sane mind would you do this? And then in public spaces, I stand up for vulnerable people, and then they'll be like, they change the narrative, and then they try to change like they are being respectful. But that is because you see me standing up for this person. Well, why can't you just adopt, that culture, that value of respect? Like, for me, it's a very, very big, culture shock. And I'm glad that you raised it up, right? Because for me, I feel like respect is a universal value that is highly, res- appreciated, right? It's something that is premium. There are certain things, no matter where you come from in the world, you show respect to people. It's typically reciprocated.
Absolutely.
Right? So you being disrespectful, in my opinion, is even you disrespecting yourself without knowing it.
But sometimes, it's what they see. It's like, I really have time for young people because some of them are just out and out rude and like just doing silly things, and they know right from wrong. Absolutely.
Like crazy. Like, I was a boss one day, and then I saw some kids, like, they stopped the bus from running, and then they stood at the front of the door, like, causing a nuisance, insulting the driver.
Yeah, but again, they think it's cool because of the environment they're coming from.
Feel like it's cool, and you're insulting the driver. And then when someone like me comes and stands up, like, okay, what are you trying to do there? And then they just feel very insecure. I see the way they just fold, and then they run away. Like, there are people going to work or going to important places, and in the morning what are you trying to achieve?
So basically, what they're trying to achieve is, I am who I am, and I'm not going to take nothing. He's trying to gain that respect through acting a certain type of way. That's what I would say that is. It's like, I'm showing you. So you see the way I said that, I will be in a room full of men and I will stand on who I am. That's basically them saying, I'm standing on who I am. This is who they just don't know the right way to go about it yet. And this is why we need to guide them the right way and show them the right way. The environments that they're coming from is toxic, is ghetto, is giving that sort of disrespectful energy. This is the reason why they think it's okay. This is the way you look like you have authority, because this is what I've seen. But actually, there's another way. Like, you assert yourself. You don't need to be disrespectful. You assert yourself. You be the nicest person ever. But if somebody turns on you, then you assert yourself, correct? No problems with that. But at the end of the day, they're not coming from that background. They're not coming from a background where you're being seen as a respectful individual that's going to assert themselves when they need to. You're seeing toxicity. So that's what you're going to. You're a reflection of who you are. So this is what they're doing, and this is why we need to guide them as professionals, help them, show them the new way. This is not the way. This is the way. And then you will see that they will have that same energy, but they will know how to pour it into the right thing. And that's when you'll see them blossom. The same, Mizzy is a great example.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you. Like, you're a passionate individual. You do a lot of work. You help a lot of people. But when it comes to you, like, how do you relax? What are your hobbies? And, like, what are your personal interests?
I love to go spas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love spas. I absolutely love spas. It's very relaxing, very therapeutic. And I love water. So I like to just bubble in the hot tub. Like, it just, when you said you're in the bathroom, like when you're having a shower time, that's when a lot of things come to me as well when I'm in water.
Wow.
And that's when I'm the most in tune with myself, is in water.
The creative juices just come.
Yeah.
I thought it was only me.
I could really relate to that when you said that. So being in water is everything to me. I also like going out to eat. I like to eat steak. I love chops.
You don't look like you like to eat. You don't look
like you. Because I do. And I like a cheeky cocktail. And I like to be out in nature. I like to go for long walks. Again, it kind of feel a lot of things come to me when I'm out walking. I like to be out in, like, I like city builds. It gives me some inspiration. I didn't say it was City Gateway that I went to, the college. It was in the city. So every day going to that kind of environment was everything for me. It was just like, I could see a big future. But yeah, so going for walks, I really enjoy, and I love music. And I've recently just taken up a little new hobby of, like, getting into the, going into the studio when I have some free time.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And yeah.
Going to the studio.
Yeah.
Music studio.
To express myself. Exactly. Music studio.
Wow. Steph London. Shanford.
So silly.
Oh, Shanford Day. Like, what was going to be your music name? Just Shan?
Yeah, so like Sharn Ford, or Lady Emerald, you know, one of the two.
Okay, we'll think about
We'll
it.
think about
But I think I'll go for Sharn.
it. Best.
Wow, back it up with Sharn. Sharn mash up the beat.
Yeah, this is it.
So you sing or you rap?
No, well, I could sing back in the days, but I don't really sing. I don't really exercise my voice anymore. I'm sure I could sing now, not right now, but in general.
You know,
You know, today.
sing for us.
I got down more of the rapping route because I'm passionate. I'm a very passionate person, so I like to spread my passion on the mic, you know, and then I'm really talking about how I feel, getting it all out, expressing myself. Yeah, I'm here for it.
So if you were to do karaoke, right? What's your go-to song?
Oh, to sing or rap?
Any karaoke song, like, yeah, we're in a karaoke bar and the mic is passed to Sharn. Like, what song?
Maybe "Take a Bow" by Rihanna.
Take a bow.
Yeah.
Okay, we will soon take a bow. Okay, so what skills or competencies would you say you're proud of what people do not really know about?
Ooh, that's one of them. Singing, rapping. That was one of them. Nobody really knew about that. I used to do that a lot when I was in school. I used to perform in like places like the Hackney Empire, the Round Chapel, all over. Even in Birmingham, I almost got signed, but we moved back to London, so I didn't pursue that career. And then we just dived straight into business when I came to London. So that's one of the skills. I would say people know they know I'm coaching and stuff like that. What else?
Do you like to eat? Do you like to cook?
Oh, like, yeah, let me think about things away from business. Okay, yeah, cooking. I can cook. Cook nice.
Jamaican curry,
Everything.
jerk chicken,
Curry go. Yeah. Curry cheese.
mac and cheese.
Lamb. Fish.
When are you going to?
Oxtail. You name it.
Okay, when is your birthday?
26th of October.
October. Oh wow, that's coming soon. So please, are you going to cook
So
for us?
you're definitely cooking.
Am I invited?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do like an Afro-Caribbean thing. You know, me, I'm a great Nigerian chef, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so jollof rice versus rice and
And then you get a Jamaican chef for me.
why now? You have to cook. You can cook the day before.
It's good response.
You have to cook. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Afro-Caribbean, and you know, can start something like that. You know, but what do you feel about the Afro-Caribbean network?
I feel like it's getting better, to be fair.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like lots of collaborations.
Starting to collaborate. Yeah, we're doing a bit better. And then, you know, the Afro beats have got like little Jamaican twangs now. I see Burna Boy and Davido, they kind of add a little yeah, and I hear it. And I feel, yeah.
The
Little
Nigerian
spice.
spice.
Yeah, and then the Jamo spice as well. Can you well when they say something. Oh, Yoruba sometimes it's broken English, isn't it? Same thing, really. But I would say that we're getting a lot more tight knit. There's a lot more relationships coming as well. Like Caribbeans and Africans are coming together. I'm seeing, it's getting good. Because what's so sad is we're all African. Like
Caribbeans and Africans coming together on the King James podcast.
Honestly, but we're all African.
Collaborations.
We all are African people.
That's actually very true.
And we need to get over it. Like, seriously, what is it like? Caribbean, African, like, come on, look, we're all one. Yeah.
We're all one, you know.
We're all one. Caribbeans, a bit naughty, got shipped. That's what it is. Like, we're African. Like, let's just get over that now. I think that needs to stop. I think when everyone really comes to terms with that, hopefully one day, I think we're going to be more powerful, more successful. There will be more excellence coming from us as one because we realize the actual power that we withhold. But right now we're just trying to it's just childish. I wish I could just tell every black person, I could just line them all up and say, listen, guys, come on, we're African, get over it. Like, seriously.
Yeah, you know, I like to tell people why hate when you can collaborate.
Right. I like that. Look at you. You.
Yeah, you know, positive vibes only, you know. So, before we dig into your Omo Jamo heritage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, like, what accomplishments, you know, as a person. Let's talk about you, you know, both in business and outside of business. Like, what accomplishments would you say you are most proud of for yourself?
I'm proud of a lot of things. It's so difficult because, as you know, like, when you're doing, you just do. You don't, like, sometimes I don't really take the time out to appreciate how hard I'm working or what I've done, to be honest. You just keep going. Like I keep like going. Maybe I need to, that's something I can look into actually, is maybe taking some more time out to look into what I'm actually doing rather than just keep going. But one of the things I would say I was proud of was definitely starting my own show on the TV. That was a random opportunity that came my way that I just thought, you know what, try it. That was quite a big accomplishment for me. I would also say another one would be overcoming a lot of the barriers that I faced, literally just in general. Like there's a lot of things that I've gone through that should have broken me, to be, well, not should have, but could have broken me.
You don't look like what
God
you've
forbid.
been through.
Yeah. No. But I'm glad I went through it though.
What doesn't kill you only makes you strong.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad I went through what I went through, because I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't go through a lot of the things I went through. I went through a lot of like isolation, like being by myself a lot, and I see why. But it's not always been by choice. No, not at all. It's just been a matter of me being put in situations that are not necessarily for me, but I can see what my purpose was in that situation. And I could see what I'd done, how I impacted that whole experience, and also how that experience impacted me. It's all about learning from things, really, isn't it? If you're not comfortable with something, okay, what can I learn from it? Because I'm not going to be around this, but what can I learn from it? Yeah.
No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain.
It still aligns with your philosophy, pain, purpose,
and power.
Right? Well, the 3 Ps. Now,
Go get that t-shirt.
It is time to dig into your Jamaican heritage.
Okay.
I told you we're going to play a game.
Right.
I'm going to mention 8 prominent Jamaicans, right?
Okay.
And of course, give me one word that comes to your mind to describe them.
Okay.
So, for example, if I say Rashan Ford, what comes to my mind? Many things. Businesswoman.
Okay, like that. Okay, yeah.
Passionate.
Yeah.
So, the very first, you should know who I. When everybody thinks Jamaica, they think about this person.
Okay, let's see.
Bob Marley.
Oh, tradition.
Okay. Stefflon Don.
Lit.
Okay.
Yeah. Full of vibes.
Okay. Usain Bolt.
Sonic. He's fast.
Supersonic. Okay.
Yep.
How about Spice?
Dancehall queen.
Okay. Sean Kingston.
Food. Can I tell you why?
Oh, why?
Because you know You're Way Too Beautiful Girls. That's like, yeah, beautiful girls. Yeah.
That's why it will never work.
You're way
me.
suicidal.
It's over.
There you go. You got artist Dems.
Okay.
But yeah, it was in a restaurant, so it always reminded me of food when I heard that song.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with another one. Vibes Cartel.
Unruly.
Oh.
Yeah, he's unruly.
No, wait. Okay, this next one, not many people know she's of Jamaican heritage. Naomi Campbell.
Fire.
Okay. I thought you were going to say beautiful. Because she's like a beautiful standard, you know. Okay, then Raheem Sterling.
Raheem Sterling. Well, how would I don't know, I'm just proud of him. Like, he's doing really well. He's young, he's inspiration.
He's young and getting it. Oh,
yeah, give him that inspiration.
Okay. Interesting. Nice one. So, at the end of the pod, you know, we have a tradition of giving you a question from the previous guest and you dropping a question for the next guest. Don't worry, the previous guest, he's a fighter, right? His name is Matt Rambo Russo. Okay. Yeah, fighting out of Florida, Broward County, Florida. So he made life easy for you. Okay. He says, what is your dream car? Before you answer that, this is Rashan Ford. She's meant to be driving a Ford by default. Cheeky! But it's disrespectful to her name. Driving something else. Driving a German machine. I'm not going to disclose, but just know it's a German machine, right? Instead of sticking to her name. You're not living up to the name. Because, you know, the Ford is spelled F-O-R-D. I was just about to correct you. It's actually got an E at the end, guys. Got E at the end, and then when I call it Ford Day, it says, no, it's actually Ford. Yes. So, you should... It's a silent E. Ford should drive a Ford, because the E is silent. No.
That was not made for me.
Okay, so what's your car?
A Bentley, 4x4 Bentley
A Bentley.
at the moment.
A Bentley for a Ford.
Yes.
Okay, we'll take that. So, what's your question for the next guest?
My next question is gonna be, what's your biggest fear?
What's your biggest fear? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. I am not the next guest. I am the host to the next guest. And the next guest has got their work cut out for them. So at this juncture, I want to say a very, very big thank you to Rashan Ford. One of my philosophies is gratitude is good attitude. And of course, for me, thank you very much. It's been a long time, in the making. And we finally made it happen. So thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome. God bless you too.
For Emerald Mindset. Hope to see you at the top, doing great things.
I will see you at the top. Thank you very much.
Okay.